everyone, Lorie Burch here with another exciting installment of Hot Topics in Estate Planning. So let's get to the Lorie Burch mailbag. Our first question here comes from Larry in Frisco, Texas. Larry writes, "Dear Lorie, one of my New Year's resolutions is to create an estate plan that will give me peace of mind knowing my wife and kids are taken care of in case something should happen to me. We do not have any documents at this time and would like to know what types of documents you recommend." Larry, that is a great question because this time of year is when many people add to their list as a resolution that they finally want to get a will, trust, guardianship in place. And since you're a parent, that's something that many parents are really concerned about. So obviously there's the will that you can set up that if you should pass away, if you or your wife should pass away, it can establish how you want assets and money to be distributed, who you want to be the executor to oversee that, and if you have kids, you can actually designate who you would want to take care of them, such as a guardian, and how you would want a trust set up for them should you need to distribute things over time rather than it just be distributed all of them at once, to make sure that their basic needs are covered, such as setting it up in a trust to make sure that the funds are used in order for them to go to school, go to college, so it's not the kids themselves that are making the decision. Because I don't know too many 18-year-olds that are actually deciding to use the money for school. Normally it's for a car. And it's not a Honda Civic or anything practical. It's usually one that is pretty pricey that gets wrapped around a tree the next day. The other items that you should think about when putting together an estate plan are powers of attorney. One would be what's commonly referred to as a financial power of attorney. Now, the difference between powers of attorney and a will is that the will comes into play if you should pass away, but while you're alive, there are a number of different things that could come up where someone needs to act for you. And so a financial power of attorney that I was referring to is specifically designed to handle money and property. So this would be a situation where if you're in an accident or disabled, someone could step in, pay bills, contact banks, handle money and property for you. The flip side of that is a medical power of attorney, and this is where you can designate someone to make medical decisions for you if you're unable to make those decisions for yourself. Something that also goes hand in hand with that is something that's just been done in the last few years, is something that addresses the HIPAA legislation, which is the Privacy Act for medical records. So it's really important that these individuals that you want to make medical decisions for you will also have access to your medical records and medical information. There's also the living will, which in Texas is called a directive to physicians. And this document is the one that many people are at least somewhat familiar with, where if you are in a vegetative state or irreversible condition and you're just being kept alive artificially, it will designate whether you would or would not want your life artificially prolonged. And while that is a very difficult topic to have to address, it's something that is important because, one, it alleviates the burden from your loved ones from having to make that decision, and also it makes your wishes clear, which is one of the big reasons that you should get this planning done in the first place, is to make your wishes clear so people aren't having to guess at them at a time when they're really struggling with grief or some other emergency. There are some other items that you should think about that some attorneys such as myself like to be very thorough in the planning with, and one is where you can actually appoint who can oversee funeral, burial decisions. Again, not the most fun topic to think about, but it is really important in the event that something should happen to you, that people know what your wishes would be so that they aren't having to guess at that at a time when they really shouldn't be having to make too many decisions and you're not there to ask. Another one that I like to do for my clients is where you're actually pre-designating a guardian for yourself, which may sound a little odd, but it is important because if something more severe should happen to you, such as a stroke or brain aneurysm, Alzheimer's, dementia, any of these type of things, a guardianship is actually a court proceeding. And when that happens, even if you have a medical power of attorney or financial power of attorney, those decisions would be taken away from those individuals that you chose because a guardian is really put in place to make those decisions. So what you can do in advance is actually have a document, and it may name the exact same people that you have listed in your powers of attorney, but name a document that allows someone to be appointed as your guardian so a judge doesn't have to decide. Beyond that, Larry, some other things that you should think about is how you have your beneficiaries set up at work or with a financial advisor, or how your accounts are set up. So it is an excellent New Year's resolution to put this on your list. Every family, couple, and individual really should, to have those things put in place so that your family and loved ones can have that peace of mind. So thanks for the question, Larry. Keep them coming. If you have any questions that you would like to submit, then I welcome you to visit our Facebook page, and you could also visit our website for additional information or to sign up for newsletters. And you may also subscribe to our YouTube page, where you can find not only this Hot Topic installment but other ones. Until then, remember, if you don't have a will, the state of Texas has one for you.